Coming up, State of Business, sponsored by...
Meet your work and learn targets. Log on to my SLT app to activate.
IWS Aviation.
Get extra GB. Check data usage. Pay bills. Report faults.
Download today. SLT Mobitel, the connection.
Hello there, you're watching our television. This is State of Business. I'm Pamutha Katugampala. Our top stories. Government issues sweeping ban on imported goods. The left calls for sustained struggle against political witch hunt. Welcome back if you just happened to join in. And now let's have a detailed look at today's stories. Now, Central Bank Governor Dr. Namlal Veerasinghe in a recent interview with Bloomberg discussed measures vital for the targeted macro-fiscal framework and commented on the foreign exchange crisis.
That is an important other policy measure. Fiscal policy will have to support the monetary policy together so that we can reach macro-fiscal framework that we are planning to achieve going forward. Important part of that framework is to implement all the fiscal policies and tax measures that government is going to implement. This is for this year. The next budget for this year will be presented next month by the Minister of Finance to the Parliament. This will have further measures to strengthen fiscal consolidation. And obviously for next year, 2023, there will be another budget presented to the Parliament with some stronger policy measures in November 2022 for the next 2023 budget. This will have further consolidation in terms of revenue as well as expenditure measures. Those we expect. And also, in addition, the structural reforms of the state-owned enterprise are the other important piece of legislation that also will have both budgets will have the policies that will be announced to address the reforms in the structural reforms in the state-owned enterprises.
Is the FX crisis over, Governor, very quickly?
Yes, I think we can see situation is much easing, and even without any bridging financing, now we can manage the requirement for essential imports with higher exports and curtailing imports, and we are managing situation much better than what we had earlier. So going forward, we can manage the forex situation much better going forward. We can see stabilizing currency, more financial availability in the banking sector, and central bank also building up a gradual basis. Thank you.
Meanwhile, the government yesterday issued new regulations via an extraordinary gazette suspending the import of a wide range of items with effect from the 23rd of August 2022 until further notice. The regulations were issued by President Ranil Wickremesinghe in his capacity as the Finance, Economic Stabilisation and National Policies Minister. However, the Gazette notification stated that any goods shipped on board with the date of bill of landing or airway bill on or before August 23, 2022 and arrived at any sea port or airport in Sri Lanka on or before September 14, 2022 would be allowed for customs clearance. Whatever Gazette notifications issued previously suspending imports, the latest one slaps the ban of a wide range of goods as the nation struggles to stay afloat until a deal is struck with the International Monetary Fund for a bailout package. The ban encompasses a wide range of consumer goods from chocolates to spectacles, suitcases, pressure cookers, toasters, wristwatches, dishwashers, telephones, air conditioners, cosmetics, perfumes, musical instruments, clothing, beverages and a number of products that fall under investment goods imports. However, the Gazette notification said the import suspension would not apply to Board of Investment companies engaged in processing and re-export and enterprises or operators approved under the Temporary Importation for Export Purposes scheme of Sri Lanka Customs. Any other request for importation of goods specified in the Gazette by any other party could be entertained by the Controller General of Imports and Exports Control, subject to approval of the Minister of Finance on the recommendation of the Secretary to the Treasury for the purpose of direct usage of such enterprises on a case-by-case basis. The Gazette notification also said the Controller General of Imports and Exports would issue operational instructions to the Director General of Customs and licensed banks for effective implementation of this regulation. The first meeting of the Committee on Public Finance of the third session of the 9th Parliament was held yesterday. The meeting was held under the chairmanship of MP Dr. Harsh De Silva. In accordance with Standing Order 121, the Committee of Election recently appointed MP Dr. Harsh De Silva as chairman of the committee. Accordingly, the Appropriation Amendment Bill to amend Appropriation Act No. 30 of 2021 was considered at the committee and approved. Furthermore, the Social Security Contribution Levy Bill was also approved. Regulations under the Foreign Exchange Act No. 12 of 2017 and order under the Special Commodity Levy Act No. 48 of 2007 and a resolution under the Customs Ordinance also received Committee on Public Finance approval. Speaking at the meeting, the new chairman of the Committee on Public Finance, Dr. Harsh De Silva, stressed the importance of the committee.
මේ මුදල් කාර්ක සභාවේ තියෙන වැදගත්කම තමයි මේ තමයි පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ තියෙන බලවත්ම කාර්ක සභාව. ඇයි මම එහෙම කියන්නේ? කිසිම මුදල් පනතක් හෝ මුදල් සම්බන්ධ පනතක් හෝ ඒ පනතකට ගේන සංශෝධනයක් හෝ රෙගුලාසියක් හෝ නියමයක් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ දෙවනි වර කියවීම සඳහා විවාදයට ගන්න කලින් මේ කමිටුවේ අනුමැතිය අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. හරි? එතකොට අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ මේ කමිටුවේදී විශ්ලේෂණාත්මකව ඒ යෝජනාව සම්බන්ධයෙන් සාකච්ඡාවක් කරලා ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් වෙනත් අදහස් ස්වාධීන ආර්ථික විශේෂඥයන්ගෙන් එහෙමත් නැත්නම් think tank වලින් එහෙම නැත්නම් විශ්වවිද්‍යාල වලින් සහ පොදු මහ ජනතාවගෙන් ලබාගෙන හරාත්මක සාකච්ඡා කරලා ඊට පස්සේ අනුමත කරනවා නම් අනුමත කරලා අනුමත කරන්නේ නැත්නම් ඒ යම්කිසි විදියකට කල් දාලා යම්කිසි වෙනස්කම් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා ඔවුන්ගෙන් ඉල්ලීමක් කරලා වැදගත් විදියට ධනාත්මක විදියට සියලු දෙනාටම එකඟ වෙන්න පුළුවන් විදියට ඒ සාකච්ඡාව ඉස්සරහට අරගෙන යන්න. එතකොට මම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ඉදිරියේදී මේ මුදල් කමිටුව කෝප් කමිටුව සහ කෝප කමිටුව වගේම මීට වඩා විනිවිදභාවයක් ලබා දෙනවා.
See you soon with more stories after this short commercial break.
More data when you stay and use more. Data Ball 1, data Ball 1.
A non-stop journey with Data Ball 1 from SLT Mobitel Home Broadband.
Welcome back. You're watching State of Business. Now, the government will amend the rules to allow State Timber Corporation engage in export activities in collaboration with the private sector. Cabinet spokesperson Minister Bandula Gunawardena addressing media yesterday outlined the benefits of these amendments.
රාජ්‍ය දැව සංස්ථාව වෙත පැවරලා තියෙන කාර්යයන් කාලීන අවශ්‍යතා අනුව සංශෝධනය කළ යුතු බව වනජීවී වන සම්පත් අමාත්‍යතුමා කැබිනට් පත්‍රිකාවක් මගින් කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයට කරුණු ඉදිරිපත් කළා. 1957 අංක 49 දරන රජයේ කාර්මික සංස්ථා පනතේ විධිවිධාන යටතේ 1968යි 4යි 4 දිනති රජයේ ගැසට් පත්‍රයේ පළ කරන ලද නිවේදනයක් මගින් රාජ්‍ය දැව සංස්ථාව ස්ථාපනය කරලා තිබෙනවා. එකී සංස්ථාවේ කාර්ය වර්තමාන අවශ්‍යතාවයන්ට ගැලපෙන පරිදි සංශෝධනය කිරීමේ අවශ්‍යතාවය හඳුනාගෙන තිබෙනවා. ඒ අනුව රාජ්‍ය දැව සංස්ථාවේ විෂය පතය වර්තමාන අවශ්‍යතාවයන්ට ගැලපෙන ලෙස සංශෝධනය කිරීම පිළිබඳවයි වනජීවී වන සම්පත් අමාත්‍යතුමා ඒ කැබිනට් පත්‍රිකාව ඉදිරිපත් කළේ. විශේෂයෙන් පසුගිය කාල පරිච්ඡේදය තුළදී රාජ්‍ය දැව සංස්ථාව ඉතා විශාල අගය එකතු කිරීමේ ක්‍රියාවලීන් වල නිරත වෙනවා. හුඟක් ගෘහ භාණ්ඩ වෙනත් ලීබඩු වලින් කරන විසිතුරු නිර්මාණ රාශියක් ඒ ශිල්පීන් විසින් ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තිබෙනවා. දේශීය වෙළඳපොලේ අලෙවි වන මේ භාණ්ඩවලට විදේශ වෙළඳපොලේ විශාල ඉල්ලුමක් තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපිට ඩොලර් අර්බුදයේ තියෙන අවස්ථාවේදී දැනට තියෙන නීති රීති අනුව එවැනි අපනයනයන් කරන්න සංස්ථාවට බලය නැහැ. ඒ අපනයනය කරන්නටත් අවශ්‍ය බලය ලැබෙන ආකාරයට පුද්ගලිකාංශය සමග ඒකාබද්ධව ව්‍යාපාර දියුණු කරන්න යන ආදිය සඳහා අවශ්‍ය වෙනස්කම් සහිත සංශෝධන දෙව සංස්ථා පනතට කෙරෙනවා.
Now, National People's Power parliamentarian Dr. Harini Amarasuriya says the same person who assured the international community that the Prevention of Terrorism Act will be repealed is using it to suppress the public. Addressing a media briefing held at the JVP headquarters in Battaramulla, Dr. Amarasuriya urged government to abolish the PTA as promised.
It is very clear what is happening, what this government is doing and what this president is directing. He's using the PTA and he's using the law of the country for a very personal, petty agenda. There's no doubt that he's trying to please the 134 MPs who elected him, and as well as to serve his own interests. That is all that is happening. We also know that he has a history. He has a long history in this country of being part of regimes, being part of governments that have been responsible for abusing the laws of the country and for abusing the PTA for political gains and for oppressing political opponents. There's a long history of that in this country, and people have been struggling against that. Citizens of this country have been penalized by this draconian piece of legislation for far too long. As the NPP, we have always campaigned for the abolishing of the PTA, because we have seen the damage that it has wrought on communities, wrought on individuals, and the suffering that people have undergone because of the way in which this PTA has been used in this country. So first of all, we call upon this government to repeal the PTA. We also want to remind the government that they made a promise to the international community on a moratorium on the PTA, and now they are using the PTA despite these assurances that have been given to the international community.
Parliamentarian Dr. Amarasuriya also requested the public not to give up the struggle against oppression, holding that their genuine effort can be turned into a victory. She adding that the current government is weak, fragile and illegitimate, calling the public to fight for their rights.
And we also call upon the people of this country not to be deterred by what this government is doing. This government is a weak government, it's a fragile government, it has no legitimacy to do what it is doing. We have shown, the citizens of this country have shown their strength, have shown their power, and we call upon people to remain strong and to remain committed towards the reforms that are necessary for our country and which we will succeed in bringing about in the very near future. We also want to remind this government grounds on which they are standing are very flimsy. This is a president who does not have a popular mandate. This is a government that has no popular mandate. And if they think that using repression is going to solve the very real problems that people are facing, they are very sadly mistaken. We also think that this is a fear tactic that is being used in order to prevent people from protesting, for preventing people from using their democratic rights, probably against the very anti-democratic economic reforms that are being proposed in the future.
Stay tuned for stock updates.
Get extra GB. Check data usage. Pay bills. Report faults.
Download today. SLT Mobitel, the connection.
Welcome back. This is State of Business and now stock updates. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today. The All Share Price Index dropped 60.29 points to close at 9,011.24, and the S&P SL 20 dropped 45.28 points to close at 2,944.50. The turnover was 2.5 billion rupees and over 115 million shares were traded. Coming up next are forex rates. Well, that's a wrap from today's edition of State of Business. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Meet your